My sister texted, give me access to your bank account or you and your kids are out for Thanksgiving. I replied, we're out then. The next morning, Mom wrote, calm down, honey. I just sent $5,000 from your account for her kids. Gifts. That night, I mailed a letter to every relative. By morning, my phone had 53 missed calls. My name is Noah. I'm 34, the older child who learned to make himself useful and quiet. I'm the one who fixes Wi-Fi, picks up prescriptions, and shows up with jumper cables. I'm also a single dad of 2, Maya, 8, inventor of cats wearing sunglasses, and Theo, 5, convinced the moon follows our car because it likes our playlist. I work IT at a community hospital. Long hours, short budgets, steady routine. I pack lunches, label jackets, and keep the apartment small on purpose. Small is manageable. Small is safe. In my family, small also meant invisible. That was fine with me for a long time. Let the light go to my younger sister, Audrey. She glows in any room. People rearrange themselves around her and call it love. Mom calls it presents, like Audrey was born with her own stage lights. Dad used to joke that family is an account and we all just make deposits. Then he left. When I was 19, the account stayed with my name on a few lines I never should have signed. I learned early that nodding costs less than arguing. When Mom said, just be a joint owner on this emergency account, only for paperwork. With your father, I nodded. When she said, it's easier if you pay it now and I'll pay you back later, I nodded and bagged extra shifts. When Audrey said, you're good at logistics, you don't mind, I nodded and drove, carried, Venmo'd, fixed. That was childhood. Turned into adulthood, being helpful, until it felt like identity. The invisible son, the background adult, the reliable tree everyone ties their hammock to. Tuesday night, mid-November. The kids were at the table drawing turkeys with capes while I scrubbed a baking sheet that looked like it had Scene Wars. I'd promised bread rolls for Thanksgiving shaped like snowmen.
New.
Tradition, our house, our pace. Flour. Dusted Theo's trucks because he insisted. The kitchen counter was construction. Weather. Maya asked if cinnamon sugar counted as a vegetable. My phone buzzed by the fruit bowl. Audrey. The contact photo was us as kids. Me in a faded Pokemon shirt, her grinning with spaghetti on her cheeks. It pinged a feeling I hate, nostalgia and dread. Sharing a cup. Hey, I said. Finally, she exhaled like I'd missed a meeting. So, logistics. Mom said you're hosting. Perfect. I'll do the grocery run. Just text me your bank login or make me an authorized user, whichever's faster. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because my brain misfired. My bank login? Noah. She said, slow and patient. Don't be weird. I'll buy everything and just reimburse myself. No. Back and forth. You're not getting my login, I said. Then add me to the account, she snapped. Same outcome. Not happening. She let silence stretch, then cut it. Okay, then hear me clearly. Give me access to your bank account, or you and your kids are out for Thanksgiving. Something in me, something old and thin, finally clicked into place. We're out. Then I said, calm level. You're really doing this? She asked, amazed. I'm really doing this, I said, and hung up before she could turn my no into a debate. Maya looked up. We're still making snowman rolls, right? Absolutely. I said. Theo drove a truck through a dune of flour and sneezed so hard the raccoon on his shirt jumped. I wanted the story to end there. Clean line. Lesson learned. But families like ours don't respect lines. They treat them like invitations to cross. I rinsed the baking sheet, put the kids to bed, and sat at the table with a yellow legal pad. At the top I wrote my rules and felt childish and relieved. The first trigger had happened. The ask, the boundary, the calm no. What I didn't know yet was that by morning, the conversation would move from access to taken, and that a number would show up on my screen with a memo line that felt like a dare. I didn't know the calls would stack, the knocks would come, or that I'd end up changing locks and mailing letters like a quiet line in the sand. But before the blast, there's always the fuse. Years of small yes. Taught as love. I didn't plan on being a single dad. Maya was 2 when her mom, Lena, sat at our kitchen table and said, I can't keep white-knuckling life. We were 26, too tired to fight well. 2, broke to pretend. We wrote our kindness into the paperwork. We split time, kept school stable, learned to co-parent like teammates, not rivals. It wasn't failure. It was survival with manners. My family didn't see it that way. In their version, I lost because I wasn't strong enough to keep a family. In their version, Audrey won because she married. Early and post photos that look like catalog pages. Correcting them cost too much energy, so I stopped trying. Audrey is 31 and strategic. People compliment her hair and miss the calculus behind her smile. As teenagers, she'd stand in a doorway until everyone adjusted to her weather. Mom loved that. She's an alpha, she'd say, proud like she'd bred a show dog. When Audrey ran up a $1,900 clothing bill at 18, Mom called me. We'll pay back monthly if you cover it now, she said. I was bagging groceries and tutoring math. It took 8 months of nights. Mom gave me $300 back and a hug that smelled like apology. Without any inside, the rule wrote itself. If something breaks, Noah fixes it. If something costs, Noah pays first. The list since then is long and boring. Dad's brake pads, twice. A veterinarian. Bill for a dog I'd met twice. Banjo. Perfect. Worth it. Still not mine. A temporary phone line for Audrey that lasted 8 months. Late fees on Mom's apartment because the landlord is a bully. The emergency account joint with Mom for paperwork that I meant to close 100 times. It had $3,200 the last time I checked. It also had my name and an overdraft linked to my primary because a bank rep once said, that's safer. And I nodded. Humiliations came in small sizes first. Don't bring store brand to Christmas. Mom said, pulling a 2-liter from my back. We aren't poor. I am, I said. She didn't hear me. At Maya's 3rd birthday, Audrey breezed in, late with helium balloons and gifts that lit up the room. You should have ordered a real cake, she whispered. Kids can tell when men bake. I cut the sheet cake I could afford and made jokes about rustic frosting. When I finally bought a used Subaru with working AC and a trunk that held 2 scooters and a week of groceries, Audrey ran her hand across the hood. Cute. When are you buying something safe? She sent links to SUVs with payments bigger than my rent. Kids deserve stability, she texted. Translation, your stability must match my aesthetic. I tell you all this because when I finally said no, it wasn't about a turkey. It was about a lifetime of invoices disguised as love. The group chat did its usual thing after I told Audrey we were out, and Denise. Let's not make this bigger than it is. Mom, breakfast tomorrow. I'll settle this. Me, not coming. Audrey thumbs down turkey emoji. I slept badly, not because of Thanksgiving, but because the useful part of my brain still believed I could buy my way to their approval if I did it right. Morning was normal chaos. Maya lost her other shoe. Theo said, socks are against the foot constitution. We were late. On the way back from drop-off, I decided to move rent to the bills account. I opened my banking app and felt my stomach fall through the floor. A pending transfer, $5,000. From the family emergency account. Memo. Line kids gifts. I stared until the digits blurred. The emergency account had $3,200, which meant the rest came from the overdraft linked to my primary, which meant Mom had used my credit line like a rubber band and snapped it with a smile. I took a screenshot because I needed proof for myself. I called Mom. She answered cheerfully. Hi, honey. You moved $5,000. I said, no yelling. No performance. Just the weather report. Yes, she said bright. Audrey's kids needed gifts. It's the season. That account had $3,200. I authorized the overdraft. She said, it's all in the family. Don't be dramatic. From my credit line, I said, with my name, Noah. She said, soft scold. We are a family. You want your niece and nephews to have a good holiday. Audrey does so much. I Pictured color-coded calendars and her turning favors into currency. I pictured my rent due in 4 days. No, I said. Reverse it. She laughed. We can't. Reverse Christmas. Calm down. I just sent $5,000 from your account for her. Kids' gifts. You'll be fine. It's only money. I don't remember hanging up. I remember the apartment going quiet like a stage waiting for a line. I looked at my legal pad, my rules. I added 3. Close the emergency account. Remove mom from everything. Put boundaries in. Writing. At lunch, I sat in my car in the hospital lot, called the bank, and learned the legal truth I'd been avoiding. Joint means joint, and unauthorized doesn't apply to joint. The rep was kind. We filed a dispute on the overdraft portion. We put my profile behind extra verification. We set the emergency account to close after the dispute. I thanked her like she just taught me a new language. Then I did the only thing that ever moves anything in my family. I wrote it down. I wrote a 3-page letter. Dates, amounts, calm. Sentences. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure and boundaries. Going forward, I will not provide funds, access, or credit to any relative. Do not ask me for money. Do not involve my children in adult issues. Violations will result in no contact for 6 months. I printed 12 copies, addressed them to the usual suspects, and walked them to the blue box on the corner like I was carrying a small spine. I didn't post. I didn't subtweet. I licked stamps and put what I couldn't say out loud into ink. That night, after the kids fell asleep, Maya starfish, Theo hugging his raccoon. Like a life preserver, I went through every account I had. I removed old addresses, revoked shared access, added pins. When my hands shook, I washed dishes. When my brain spun, I folded tiny socks. The apartment felt like a ship in a storm, and also like a place with a door that locked. I woke up to a phone that looked like a slot machine. 53 missed calls, 17 voicemails, a family group chat convulsing. Mom, call me now. Audrey, you humiliated me with that letter. Fix this. Anthony's, we don't. Sue family. No one said Sue. Uncle Greg, who texts twice a year. Your mother is upset. Be reasonable. Cousin Matt, dude. Wow. Dad at 2:13 a.m. Proud of you. About time. I stared at that one until my eyes burned, then put my phone face down and made pancakes with banana. Sometimes the only control you have is whether breakfast looks friendly. At 9 a.m., Mom escalated in person. Knock voice combo at my door. Noah. Honey, open up. This is silly. I opened. Because hiding is a trap in our family. She walked in with perfume and appraisal. Eyes counting my thrift store. Lamp and dish rack like line items. She held my letter, creased, then smoothed. Like she tried to crumple it out of existence and change her mind. This, she said, shaking the paper, is dramatic. It's specific, I said. You accused me of stealing, she said, hand to chest. I did what I had to do for family. You moved $5,000 without asking. I said, $3,000 from an account with my name, $2,000 from a line of credit with my name, for Audrey's kids, with a memo. I'll pay it back, she said. When? I asked. With what? She blinked. Recalibrating. You don't understand how hard it is for mothers. Audrey is drowning. Her husband is traveling. 3 kids, Noah. Then you help her, I said. With your money. This is about control for you, she said. You like to withhold. This is about my rent, I said. It is not withholding to say no to theft. Her lips thinned. Don't use words like that. Stop doing things that fit them, I said. She shifted tactics, softened her voice. Honey, give me the login. I'll manage your bills so you don't worry. Let me help. Relief flashed through me like a trick. My body remembered being 10 and handing over an allowance for safekeeping. I pictured the memo line. I pictured my legal pad. I don't need that help, I said. I need privacy and respect. You are just like your father, she hissed. Good, I said. She left in a storm of perfume and sighs. The quiet after sounded loyal. At noon, Audrey tried the door, found it locked, and called immediately. Open. No, I said. You sent letters, she said. Incredulous. Who mails letters like a sheriff? People who've been ignored on group chats. I said, you owe me access. She snapped, I have 3 kids. Do you understand logistics? I have 2. I said, I understand. Then stop being selfish. Give me the login, she said. No. You're really willing to make your kids miss Thanksgiving over a pin? She demanded. Yes, I said, steady. We're out. Enjoy your sad little meal, she said. I will. I said and ended the call. That evening I turned on Do Not Disturb and watched a kids movie about a fox and a hound who stopped letting other people decide their enemies. Maya sniffled at the ending. Theo fell asleep mid-sentence. I carried them to bed and felt taller, like my spine remembered itself. Near midnight, I checked the bank. Dispute under review. Emergency. Account pending closure. My profile tag. For in-person only changes. It wasn't victory. It was scaffolding. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. I said out loud in the dark kitchen, practicing the sentence I knew I'd need. Tomorrow, people who benefited from your lack of boundaries will call your boundary violence. By morning, the story had been rewritten without me. Text exploded. We forgive you. Come talk. Don't be dramatic. You made mom cry. Family isn't a courtroom. You always were cold. The velocity was the point. Keep me busy responding so I'd stop holding the line. I put my phone in the drawer with the dish towels. I texted once. We're doing our own holiday. Please don't come by. Then I turned off. Read receipts because I am not a performance piece. At the park that afternoon, the cold made our breath look like cartoon bubbles. Maya did cartwheels in a puffy coat. Theo found a perfect stick for spells and turned me into a frog 3 times. I performed the croak like my rent depended on it. It felt like a magic that counted. At 4:30, Rob came by with pie and forms built for moving couches. He took one look at my face and said, well, boundaries? I said, good surgery? He asked, leaning on the counter. Clean cut. I said, and told him the $5,000, the memo line, the letters, the door. He whistled. I'm sorry. I'm not. I said, and meant it. You changed the house rules. Expect thrown plates, he said, sliding the pie into the oven. I'm tired of paying the replacement fee on plates I didn't throw. I said, Lena arrived to get the kids for her night. Your mom called me. She said I roll sharp enough to cut bread. What did she say? That you'd fallen under the influence of outsiders. She said, air quoting so hard she almost sprained irony. I told her I'm an insider for anything about our kids, and I support the boundary. She hung up. Sorry, I said out of habit. Stop apologizing for being a parent. She said, I'm proud of you. The kids grabbed coats, hats, and the raccoon scarf. The apartment felt too big after the door closed, then immediately the right size. At 8 o'clock, the building fire alarm screamed. We all spilled into the hall in pajamas. Burnt garlic knots in 3B, false alarm. We laughed like neighbors who survived something together. It was a nice rehearsal for ignoring sirens that weren't about me. At 10:12, I checked my phone. A mistake. Mom, we're coming in the morning to talk. Don't overreact. The phrase don't overreact is a key that opens every old door in my brain. My heartbeat did. Drumline. I pictured her and Audrey with their just talk faces and a portable blender of guilt. I pictured saying yes because it's quieter. Then I pictured the memo line. I didn't sleep. At 3:30 a.m., I made tea and opened the email from my landlord. Twebe next door was unexpectedly available. Same layout, same rent, move-in immediate. At 3:42, the plan dropped into my lap like a gift. I was allowed to accept. At 7 o'clock, I called. If I take 2B, can I get keys? Today? If you can bring deposit by noon. He said. Done, I said. At 8:15, I texted. Rob, bring your forearms. He sent a flex emoji and I love firm but ethical. At 8:45, I booked a locksmith for a same day rekey for both units. Emergency, he asked. Boundary, I said. By 10 o'clock, we were moving like burglars, box by box, book by book, coat rack, lamp, dinosaur, comforter, Maya's taped up art. I recreated the kids' rooms like stage Sets, the same arrangement flipped. I wanted their world to feel like ours. With better locks, not like witness. Protection. At 12:30, the locksmith. Finished. He handed me 2 tidy bundles of keys and a receipt. You're sure? About changing both, he asked. Yes, I said, I'm sure. At 1 o'clock, I left the old keys on the old counter with a note. Not here. I stood in the empty doorway and felt both grief and lightness. The apartment had been a good ship. It had also been too easy to enter. At 1:15, my phone went feral. Mom, we're here. Open. Mom, Noah, Audrey, I swear to God. If you make me stand here, I stared at the messages and put my thumb over the mute button. Then I walked to my new door and turned the deadbolt. It made a sound I wanted to tattoo on my ribs. Knocking. Voices through wood. Honey, open up. The soft act, then the hard act. We know you're there. I could see their shadows at the bottom of the door. I could hear my niece asking a question. My nephew said he had to pee. And for 1 second, I almost opened because small people shouldn't wait. Then I remembered the memo line. I remembered the overdraft. I remembered Maya saying, do snowmen eat scarves? And Theo declaring doors important. I texted Mom, please leave. Unbelievable, she replied. You are destroying this family. I typed, I am protecting mine. Didn't send it, deleted it, put the phone on the counter. They knocked for a long time. I made a sandwich. I ate it standing up. At 1:48, the knocking stopped. At 1:49, Aunt Denise texted. She says you moved. Is that true? I didn't answer. At 1:51, Dad, want to help moving? I left 10 minutes. Too late. At 6 p.m., Lena brought the kids back. Smells like new paint, she said, stepping into 2B. It smells like a locked door. I said. Maya ran to her room and froze. It's the same, but left-handed, she said, delighted. Theo tested the deadbolt 3 times. Important, he declared. We made snowman rolls. One looked like a potato with a hat. We named him Mr. Idaho. We watched a cartoon parade preview and yelled left at a balloon that could not hear us. My phone rattled the drawer like a wasp that refused to die. After bedtime, I checked it and counted 68 missed calls, a dozen voicemails, and a stack of texts with the same thesis. Be bigger by making yourself small. I put the phone back and sat on the floor in the hall, outside the kids' rooms. Their breathing was proof the choice was correct. It felt like finishing a long run and discovering the soreness is where new muscle will live. Thanksgiving morning. Frost drew lace on the windows. Maya and Theo tunneled under my blanket like raccoons with diplomas. Are we going to Grandma's? Maya asked cautious. No, I said. We're making turkey pancakes, yelling at the TV parade and walking by the river. Then we're coming back to eat. Too many rolls. Do the balloons hear us? Theo asked. Definitely, I said. That's how they steer. We did it all. We yelled. Left until the dinosaur balloon obeyed, which is science. We saw a dog in a sweater and decided he was the mayor. We waved at the daytime moon because the moon likes being included. We came home with cold noses and warm hands. At noon, I checked the bank. The overdraft dispute showed credited pending final investigation. The emergency account said closed. I took a screenshot of the word. I opened the photo twice like I didn't trust my eyes. Relief felt like a knot undid itself behind my heart. Dad texted a photo of a ham the size of a suitcase. Saved you some. No pressure, I wrote. Maybe tomorrow. He sent a thumbs up. We are both learning a new language where love doesn't require loans. We ate at the little table that fits exactly 3 chairs and a plate of rolls. We said what we were thankful for. Maya said, markers that aren't dry. Theo said, locks that click. I said, choosing what our family feels like. After bedtime, I wrote one more letter to myself. I wrote, I am not a wallet. I am not a spare door. I am a father who gets to be boring about boundaries and loud about breakfast. I am someone who can love and say no. I signed it. I dated it. I put it with the Kids' birth certificates were important. Proof lives. Over the next days, the calls slowed. Not because everyone understood, because knuckles get sore. Facebook posts turned from pray for us to memes. Audrey's last text said, "You. Pretend you don't care. We all know you. Do." She's right. I care deeply. I just stopped paying for it with rent money. Monday, I went to the bank in person with my license and a copy of my letter to myself in my pocket like a talisman. I added the note, "No changes without." Me in person with ID. The clerk smiled. "Rough holiday?" she asked. "Good one," I said. "First one." In my mailbox that afternoon, a card with no return address. Inside, a check for $300 and a sticky note for that thing I never paid back. Love, Mom. I logged it in the old spreadsheet underpaid. Maybe there will be more. Maybe not. My life can't be a cliffhanger anymore. Here's the moral I wish I'd learned earlier. Family is an account. It's a curse if you let other people hold the ledger. The line, "Don't make this about money," is a trick when money is exactly what's being taken. Closure looks like letters mailed, accounts closed, locks changed, and a phone in a drawer. Boundaries look boring from the outside. From the inside, they feel like oxygen. I won't hand over my keys again, bank door or peace. I can love my mother and keep my login private. I can love my sister from farther down the hallway than she prefers. I can wave at the moon with my kids and let 53 calls ring into a quiet drawer. I'm done paying interest on debts I never owed. I'm done being a background adult in other people's emergencies. I'm building a new ledger. Pancakes, parades, walks by the river. Doors that click, kids who say locks that click when you ask what they're grateful for. I balance it every night with the same line. We are enough and we are safe.